Hey everyone, I'm back with a new video. I know it's been a while, so now I will try and post a new one every week. However, this is not a promise, but I promise to do my best. And I also plan to create a sort of a Telegram group or a Discord server to chat with you guys and I don't know, maybe give some homeworks, check your designs, answer your questions. We'll see about that. And if you have any ideas, you can leave them in the comments. And thank you all for the subscribes and comments and likes, even though I wasn't posting new videos. And that was my motivation actually to come back and post more. Yeah. So anyways, we will try and design this piece together with 10 Marquise stones and 2.5 millimeters in the center. I'll switch to matrix now. Okay, as the first steps, I always turn on those snaps, 3 of them, the quad, the near, and the planar. And with this design, I want to go from center to the outside. So I'll first bring the gem, I'll go to gems, gem loader, and then round 2.5, let's go 2.5 here. Here you can see the size in diamond in carats, so it's 0.059. Just one click and it's in the center. And then we will need the marquee stones. So to go back in the list, you're gonna have to click the gem shape here, not this arrow. Gem shape, marquee, and let's go with 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is, if I move this up and go to dimension and the line dimension, this is 4 and this is 2 in millimeters, of course. If you don't have the gumball when you select something and you don't have this gumball, it's under info and settings, this last command. You can just toggle it on and off. Yeah, so this is basically what we will need, and we will keep on designing the prongs and the bezels underneath. But I want this stone to go higher in the center, so I'll just turn on my gumball, and you can just move it like so, or you can just click once on the arrow, and when the box pops, you can type in 1. This is 1 millimeter, so it goes 1 millimeter up. If you want to move it, let's say half, you will have to go 0.5 or just 0.5. In our case, let's go 1. Okay, and let's go ahead with the prongs. We will go to curve and pick the circle, and we will click on this corner. Now you can see that the circle started, the command started working, and I want this to be, let's say, 0.8 or 0.8. This is where you're typing on top, and hit enter. Now we have a circle and the dimension is 0.8, but this, it's going 4 inside and 4 outside because this is right the center, and I don't like it. And since it's going to be hand set, it's not going to be set in the box. We can actually move this up here. Yeah. And then we will have to go to the side view, and we will need to move it up. You can do this by just pulling it up, or you can type something like 0.8. It's gonna be a little bit too much, but since it's gonna be set in the metal, gold or silver, the stone setter can actually make it smaller with the tools. We will also need the round curve for this stone, and to get it, you can go to gems and click the gem profile curve. It basically works within its own box, so you will need to select the gem and use this arrow to put it inside the box. And as you can see, it already gave us the profile curve, so just right click and it's here. What I like doing to have this curve slightly bigger than the stone itself, I usually go to curve and then click offset. And I offset this 0.1, which is 1/10 of a millimeter, and I offset it outside. Now if we extrude this, so I go solid and extrude curve straight, and I want to extrude it only downwards, so we can go ahead and turn off both sides. No, solid, yes. And if you type 1, it will extrude it upwards, and to extrude it downwards you will need to type -1. This is 1 millimeters only. Yeah, we can also extrude this one as well, but while extruding, instead of typing something, you can actually come and click here. Yeah, as I told you, this is too high. We can make it smaller, so we can actually delete this. Just click once and then hit delete on the keyboard, and we can move this down like so, and then extrude it here. And to fillet the edge, we will use this fillet edge command. Click it once, and for the radius I'll be picking 0.35. Hit enter. So first you need to type in the radius, and then choose this top and right click twice. Now it's looking more like a prong. You can mirror this to the other side by just choosing it and then going to this menu here and mirror right here. And then we're going to need 2 clicks. So first we'll need to determine the mirror plane, which will be right in the middle, this middle, or maybe the middle of the stone. But it's easier to click here because here there's too much distraction and you can basically click wrong. So I'll go to this mid and then to this mid. This is how mirror works as well. Yeah. Now we're gonna do some changes, and you should actually always keep in mind that you might need the curves. So when mirroring something, I usually mirror the curve as well. And if you want to do this in one single step, let me just delete this. You can actually choose both and then mirror them both. Because when we will create the prongs for this stone, we might need this curve as well. Okay, now let's choose all of these that we created, and then I will just pull them towards the stone, and I'll go a little bit inside. Well, when we're looking at the looking down, it actually looks inside the stone, but if you go to perspective, it's underneath, so there's no problems with that. Okay, now let's array this. I'll be choosing these again, and I will group them. And to group, you can go to utilities and group, and the ungroup is right next to it. This means that this is a group now, and whatever you choose, just one click, it will choose everything. And you can check up top that you're choosing a block instance, which is the stone. We have 4 curves and 3 poly surfaces. Yeah. And then we'll select this group. We'll go to transform and array polar. It's basically all the commands will tell you what to do up here. So it's asking for the center, which is 0. So you can type 0, enter. And it's asking how many pieces, how many items we want to array. I will type 10 because I want 10 pieces. Hit enter. And here it's asking for the angle, 360 for a whole rotation. Just right click or hit enter and right click once again. So here what I look for is those pieces touching together, and it's great because now they will hold. And if they weren't touching, our only touch point would have been nowhere yet. But then we would need to create a bezel for the middle stone, and our touch point would be the bezel itself, and it would be weak. So it's better to have something touching always. Let's go to perspective. See? It's actually forming. Now I want 4 prongs to hold the center stone, and I want them higher. You can choose, we can make like so. No, when you have 10 stones, you basically can't make a cross. So we're gonna need to make shape of a rectangle, a bigger rectangle like so. And I'll choose this and then go to utilities and ungroup, and I will delete this prong. I will do the same for the opposite here, for this one, and for this one. Okay, so we will create 4 prongs. Now what we can do, we can actually just pick this, go to side view or true finger, whatever you see better, and move this up like so, and then solid extrude it down until here to the bottom. So we basically created a longer prong to hold the middle stone. And we will do the filleting once again with the fillet edge command in solid. Click on top, right click twice, done. Now we can mirror, or you can do them one by one. If you do them one by one, they might not get aligned perfectly. And if you want to do it perfectly, you have some choices. You can either choose them all by pressing and holding shift, and then move them all up. I mean 4 of them, obviously not 3 of them, and then extrude them all together. Or you can go to looking down, and it was this prong. Let me change the color to see better. This one, this blue one. You can go to looking down, and then you can mirror it to the left, and then mirror them both down. To the right, I mean, not to the left. So choose this, go to mirror, and now our mirror plane, it will be 0, so you can type 0, enter, and see the command is already working. And if you press and hold shift, you will be mirroring it in 90 degrees. Click there. Now we have 2. Let's mirror those 2 to the other side as well. So choose this, press and hold shift, choose this one by left clicking, and then I'll go to mirror. And basically, here's a shortcut. When you're mirroring from the 0 plane, from the 0 center, you can use this x-axis and y-axis buttons. And if you check down below, here's the coordinate system. So we have the y-axis and the x, and you can see that we need to mirror this by the x-axis. So you can click X and it will just mirror it on the X. The same thing applies to Y. You can go here, choose it, mirror, and then Y-axis. Yep. We need one more thing, the bezel for the center stone, and we'll do the same way that we did with the marquee. I'll just go to gems and gem profile curve. The box is already open here because we used it recently. Choose the gem, put it in this box here, and just right click. So here's the circle, the curve, and as I said before, I want to offset this 0.1, 0.1, left click outside, and we have the curve. Now instead of extruding this directly, I want to have some space, so it will get more light and it will shine better. And then we can solid extrude to the bottom. You can click any bottom that you can see, or make sure you can go to through finger or side view and click the bottom. Yeah, this is pretty much the design. We will union them, boolean them together, and then make the holes for the stones. While making the holes, what I always am careful of is not to damage the prongs. So when they are hand set, we should always make the hole in the bezel and leave the prong alone, so the stone setter will have material to work with. And what I mean is, we'll go to cutters, to gem cutters, and we'll just choose the stone, put it in this box. It will start working, and now it's shorter than I want this longer, so you can just basically use this lower depth button here, press and hold it to go outside, or you can modify this second box as well. You can use this here. Sometimes it will be easier, sometimes it will not. And then right click. If you want this hole bigger underneath, I'll just delete this and restart the command. If you want the hole bigger, it's the first box, lower taper. Make it bigger or smaller. Let's go with 65 in this case. Now let's choose all the Marquise stones, which are gem 02 here. And if you go to the color and right click on the color, you can choose them all. Put them all in the box. And here. And if you like what you see, just right click and it's accepted. Now to do the Boolean union, we need to choose what pieces we want left behind first. So we are going to choose everything, but as we grouped them before, when you click something, you're actually choosing the prongs as well. But I don't want to make holes inside the prongs. I just want to punch this one. So you can choose everything and then go to utilities and ungroup. Now everything is ungrouped. So now we can press and hold shift and choose all of those. We can actually change their colors as well. And in the future, if we need to select them, it will be easier to select. So let's say I want to select the light screens first and only. So you'll just right click on metal 4 and they're all selected. And then we'll go to solid and difference. This is Boolean difference. And then we'll select all the orange ones. So right click on the cutting on the oranges and right click on the screen. Now they are all punched with holes. And if we were to hide all the stones by clicking those buttons, this is what we will need. The prongs aren't damaged and the holes are cut. And I want to show you one more thing just to make things more smooth. To go back, I'll go back with this button, or you can use Ctrl and Z on your keyboard. Now, here's another shortcut. I will choose all the metal 4s by right clicking and then hide them with this button. Now they're hidden. Now if you go to this command line and if you type in hide and swap, hide swap, this is basically swapping what you see on the screen with the hidden ones. So we actually hid the metal 4s, and now if I do a hide swap, it will hide the other way around. Now we can actually fillet some edges to get rid of this view. You know, we can fillet the edges to make a better looking view. Let's try. I'll show you. I know I couldn't explain it. I'll go to fillet edge and then let's type in just 01 will be fine. And I'll choose all those edges here and this one. Basically, we chose all the top edges. Right click twice. You can see they are filleted, and now they will look better because they're smoother and they will shine better after the polishing. To bring everything back, just click show. Now let's do the Boolean again. Right click on the metal 4, go to solid and then difference. Right click on the cutting and right click on the screen. Hide the stones to make sure everything is alright. Everything looks alright. Now to save it, choose everything and then use this arrow to save it. Now next time when you just close your software and you come back to design, you can just click inside the box and you will have it ready. Let's do the render as well, the same as I showed you before starting. we'll go to the render and V-Ray styles, and the menu pops here. And I usually, I mean always, just press, hold and drag this here. Okay, so I want to go with rose gold. So I will choose everything here, and then I will make everything rose gold. Click on rose gold and on this arrow here. If you want to see what you're doing, you can actually click this little arrow and then go to rendered as well. As you can see, now everything is rose gold. And then I want to choose all the Marquise stones, and they are in gem 2. Right click. I want them, let's see, I want some red stones. I will go with garnet here. And for the center, let's go with diamond, yes. Now, if you render this, you go, here, click this render. It's rendering with 640 times 480 pixels. You can change this, make it higher. And you can also change your background by clicking this one here, create ground plane. It's basically giving you a background. It's just a piece of surface for the background. You can actually design this yourself as well. You will need to choose the background by clicking left and then go to this ground planes. Let's go down and let's choose a white mate. And I want a higher resolution. If you don't have the resolution here, you can just type it yourself as well, or change the orientation. So let's say this is 1920 and 180. You can actually type it the other way around to make it look better on the phones. So like so. And now let's click render. Yep, there we go. Now, if you don't like this shadow behind, the shadow is cast because the surface underneath is very close to the piece. You can actually move this surface, the backdrop, you can actually move it downwards. And now that we moved it, if we render again, it will get rid of the shadow behind. Yep, this is it. So this will be the end of our 5th video. I'll be posting more. Please let me know if you want me to create a Telegram group or a Discord server, as I said, and I could give you homeworks with videos as well and check your designs. I will also upload this to CG Trader, and you can download it for free, of course. You can download it and check it. And if I were to practice on this, I would do the same, and then I would do one bigger with a, let's say, 3mm center and 5 times 2.5 Marquise stones. And then I would make the ring. I would just make a ring underneath. And that would be my homework. So if you want to practice, just do it. And I can check it if you want me to. Okay, thanks for watching once again. And once again, thank you for the comments and subscribes. Keep it going. It's a nice motivation, and I'll be posting more.